And welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I'm kind of doing like catch-up video for you guys. I decided that I was going to make a January wrap-up, which is obviously why you've clicked on this to watch that. I read 20 books this month, which is really amazing. Like, I have no idea how I did that at all, because some books took me multiple days to read in. So sometimes I wasn't reading. It's not like I'm always with a nose in my book because I do work and I do things. So I was very pleasantly surprised that I got 20 books read. I read everything in my TBR last month, which really amazed me, except one book, and that is the Harry Potter book. I was gonna read a Harry Potter book a month this year, but slash reread a book every month. But I found out rereading books does not count towards your Goodreads goal, and that kind of made me upset. So I think at some point this month, if I do not this month, but this year, if I do catch up on my reading, on my reading goal, obviously I don't need to catch up because I already read 20. But I think I'm going to dedicate like a whole month to rereading books, which would be fun. Um, so that's what I decided to do. Instead of rereading a book a month, I'm just going to dedicate 1 month to rereading books. So since I read 20 books, and they're all like nice in my bookcase, I'm going to be showing you pictures of them instead, just because it would be like crazy to take all 20 out. So I screenshotted, that's not a word, the pictures of the books, so they're not like the best quality, but at least you can see the covers, and it's more exciting that way. Like, I love to just look and see what books there are, so even if they're on a screen, I kind of just like to see what they look like. I'm not going to go too much into what they're about because I'm already 2 minutes into this video, and if I went into what all 20 books were about, we'd be here tomorrow still. Whenever you're watching this, it'd be like 24 hours later. So I'm just going to show you the book and maybe give a few words, maybe, and like what I gave them as a star rating. So the first book I read this month is The Carnivorous Carnival by Lemony Snicket. This is the 9th book, I think, yeah, the 9th book in the series of unfortunate events, and I gave this book 2 stars. The next book I read was Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. Gave this book 4 stars, and I'm loving it so far. The next book I read was The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and I gave this 5 stars, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Fallen by Lauren Kate. I gave this 3 stars. Wasn't really crazy about it, didn't love it, didn't hate it, and I will eventually continue on with this series if I find it cheap enough. The next book I read was The Great and Terrible Beauty. I gave this 4 stars. I, again, didn't love it. There was parts that were confusing, but I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series eventually. The next book I read was Sapphire Blue, and this also got 4 stars. This is by Kirsten Gier. This is the second book in the Precious Gem trilogy. And I hated Ruby Red, but I really liked Sapphire Blue, so I cannot wait to get to Emerald Green. The next book I read was Perfect by Sarah Shepard. This is the 3rd book in the Pretty Little Liars series. Loving this series, gave this 5 stars. I honestly cannot wait to continue on with the series, which is surprising because I never ever thought I would be interested in these books. Kind of judged them based off the covers, thinking those look really stupid. Even though everyone loves the show, I thought it was stupid, but I'm so glad I got into them because I'm really loving them. The next book that I read is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. I gave this book 4 stars. I liked it. The plot kind of was like missing, but I really liked the fantasy aspect, and I cannot wait to read the companion novels, Fire and Bitter Blue. Which one comes first? I don't know. Do you know? Can you tell me? Because I have no idea. The next book I read was The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Don't hate me. I gave this 3 stars. Didn't really love it. I like the historical fiction part of it, but I could not get into the story, and I feel like I missed the overall message, so don't hate me. The next book I read was Extras. This is hard to see because it's a white cover, by Scott Westerfeld. This is the companion novel to the Uglies trilogy. 3 stars. Didn't love it. Just felt like it wasn't necessary at all to continue on the series with this because it just made no sense. The next book I read was Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, and I gave this 4 stars. I think I just basically, I don't know, it just was so quick, and I feel like it was rushed, and I wished it was a little bit longer just to slow it down a bit. The next book I read was Renegade by J.A. Souders. This is a dystopian society that takes place underwater. Gave it 4 stars, and it's going to be a trilogy. The second book just came out not too long ago, and I think the third book comes out this year. Then I read Girl in the Arena by Lise Haynes. I don't know. I gave this book 2 stars. It just, no quotation marks, just didn't flow. The synopsis basically gives away the entire book, and it wasn't good. The next book I read was Model Land by Tyra Banks, also 2 stars. This is supposed to be a series, and I'm praying that Tyra does not make it a series because it was just confusing and weird, and lots of things happen that I don't even know. Watch my weekly wrap-up video that this is in if you want to learn more because it's crazy. Then I read The Titan's Curse. I gave this 4 stars. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, yeah. This book was missing Annabeth, and I think I was missing her too much. That's why I gave it 4 stars. Yeah. Then I read, Unbelievable by Sarah Shepard. This is the 4th book in the Pretty Little Liars series, and I gave this 4 stars. This one kind of slowed down for me. I still really like the series, and I'm glad I finally know one of the A's. So I'm really excited to continue on, but this will hold me over until I can get the rest of the books because I don't have any more. The next book I read was Diva by Gillian Larkin. Oh my gosh, this is the 3rd and final book in the Flappers trilogy. Love this trilogy. I'm sad to see it go. It takes place in the 20s, and I just love that atmosphere of speakeasies and divas and flappers and drama and mobsters and everything. I just love it. It's everything I want and more. Then I read The Battle of the Labyrinth, which I also gave 4 stars. Like I said, there's just something about these books, I understand why people like them, but I'm not in love with them. Which is sad, because I really wanted to love these. And then, obviously, I read The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan, and I gave this one 5 stars. Ooh, I just liked... Why can't I do this? I just liked how it all came together, and I was very happy with how it ended, and you will find out how the spin-off series is going to continue because I had no idea how this was going to turn into a spin-off, but now I know, and I liked how this ended. Then the last book I read this month was The Eye of the Minds by James Dashner. I gave this 3 stars, and I was very disappointed in this. I just wish that he did more world building like he does in his Maze Runner series. And so I was kind of disappointed. This takes place in a virtual world, and I was expecting a virtual world, and I did not get it, which made me sad. But those are all the books I read this month. I read some good books, some amazing books, and some bad books, but that's what happens during reading. You have to read in order to figure it out. But I cannot believe I got through 20. I'm 15 books ahead of my reading goal because my reading goal was 60. So I'm going strong so far, but yeah, I don't know how I did it. What did you guys read this month? What's your favorite book? How many did you read? Let me know down below, especially if you're still watching because this is already 9 minutes long, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to share them with you, and I hope you guys have a good beginning of February. See ya, everyone.